Hi there everybody. So today this video is going to be all about my piercing jewelry items. I keep all of them for the most part in this box here. It's a pretty large jewelry box and it has 3 tiers on each side that come out like this. And then it has a large open area down at the bottom for most of my miscellaneous stuff. Most of the miscellaneous items that I keep in here are a couple of pliers for getting my jewelry out and or adjusted, some colored permanent markers for marking my containers. I have a whole bunch of little plastic baggies that I use occasionally. So yes, and then I have some various other little things, some cups, some plastic gloves, or some rubber gloves, sorry, a very small mirror, and then this is one of my miscellaneous jewelry boxes that I kind of just put just miscellaneous stuff in, some butterfly back jewelry that I don't really wear very much, but was given to me maybe as a gift or something, so I still hold on to it. Some of these are my tapering items that I use to stretch my ears. Another couple of some small jewelry pieces, and then some ear cuffs that I have that I used to wear before I got my conch piercing. So yes, and that's mostly what's in the bottom part of my jewelry compartment here. Then I have my other miscellaneous one right here. This guy is mostly hanging jewelry pieces. Some of them I've made, some of them I've bought and or adjusted. These I usually wear most of these in my stretched earlobes because these are all extremely small stem pieces, and so they wouldn't fit properly in some of the standard piercings, so I changed them all to have this little lobster claw hook on it so that I can just stick it in my stretched earlobe and wear it that way. Pretty much all of these are paired items. A few of them are just singles, but yes, so I have, this is a silicone, just Halloween bloody eyeball, so that's that. I have a couple of bat wings that I wear. These are a little bigger. There's these little spiders that I wear, little dangly spiders. They get bigger the lower down they are. Another little bat wing, the other spider. I have a handful of little charms that I swap out. This is one of them. This is a little bat. I have some small ankhs that I wear. And then this little skull and crossbone that I think he's like really cute. I kind of like him. So yes, I have him, and like I said, various other small charms that I swap out for those. This one I made myself from a bone that I got at a curio shop out here in Phoenix. It was already bleached and cleaned. I just got some bendable jewelry wire and then my little clip there that I use. And this is a one piece. I don't have a pair to go with it just because it is pretty large. I have various other bones that I plan to continue making into jewelry. And if I find a unique shape or something like that, I'll turn it into a piece of jewelry. Again, some more charms, the little ankh. I have this little skeleton, this little dangly skeleton. He has some red eyes, but his whole body kind of like dangles. So there's that. A little dream catcher. This was a gift that I got from a friend when she came to stay with me. She gave me, it was a set, and it came with a necklace and then the 2 pieces of earrings. Unfortunately, I couldn't wear it because the metal would irritate my ears, so I had to take it apart and turn it into something I could wear. This is just a little like dark gray metal skull and crossbones with some little danglies down underneath it. This is a pretty old pair. I've had that for a while. Here's the pair to it. This one I got from like Walmart a year or 2 ago during Halloween. It was a little butcher's knife with a small like plastic little gem hanging off of it. That was also a pair. So there's the other one of that. The other, this guy. This was a gift from RJ. It came with a set of various Halloween little symbols. There was like witch hats and pumpkins, and this one I really liked, this little black cat, so I kept that one. Pair of that. This is another little made item. This is a tooth. Turned it into a little earring. So yes, it's pretty small. It has a hard time dangling sometimes just because it is pretty small. And then the other skeleton. So yes, I love those guys. And then a couple of these other ones here. These guys I also made myself. These were from a shop, again, kind of in Phoenix. It was like a little crystal and stone shop, and they had a couple of various skull-shaped stones, and the hematite just really kind of looked cool, so I got 2 of those, and they were already had a hole in it for necklaces, so I turned them into like ear weights almost. They are very heavy since they are solid. So yes, so they do have to be in and can only be in for a short amount of time just because they are very heavy, and I don't wear weights often or anything like that. So yes, then I've got this guy should be in my base down there. He was just a little piece of jewelry that I found, just a little like squish ball type pink and black one. Then I have these guys here. These were like faux plugs that RJ had, and he couldn't wear them because they are kind of heavy, so they weigh down your ears a little bit, and yes, but they fit kind of almost perfectly when I'm wearing, they can fit in my stretched earlobe kind of perfectly as long as I'm wearing a nice tunnel or an eyelet, and it actually doesn't look too bad, so I've been holding on to those. The rest in here are just kind of miscellaneous little pieces and bits and bobs that I'm holding on to because I want to use them for something. Just some dangly pieces there. That's the back piece to that. More clips. Little paper clip or safety pin. little peace sign, little skull and crossbones. Those guys are just kind of miscellaneous little pieces that I've been holding on to. So yes. Another pair item, these are like little Halloween Boo plastic danglies with a little plastic bat on it. It's a pair of those. And then here are all my little clips and pieces. These are the lobster clips that I use for mine, and these are the old clips that either I can't use or will find another use for at another time. So, yes. So yeah, I've got, this is an old piece from a necklace that I had back when I was in high school. I held on to it just because I kind of liked it and I wanted to use it for something. It's got like little dangly feathers on it, and it's almost kind of like a dream catcher type appearance. Okay, so that's pretty much all of the miscellaneous and small items. Now the rest of this is pretty much all of my standard jewelry items. I'm going to go ahead and close this guy. We'll get to that one later. So pretty much what I've got on this side over here is my larger, my smaller jewelry, so my 16 gauge or my 1.2 millimeter jewelry pieces, and then over here are my larger, my 14 gauge, 1.6 millimeter items, as well as my stretched ear jewelry. So yes, alright, so down here I have a couple of just emptier, smaller little things. These are what I keep most of my jewelry in. They're just little plastic twist top jars. And what I do is I write on them what exactly is in it. So I have all of my stems or my stud pieces, my flat back studs, in separated jars, and I write on it what exactly is in it. So I have my 1.2 millimeter or 16 gauge flat back jewelry, 8 millimeter length, and then I have 6 millimeter length. I have 10 millimeter length as well. I tend to wear the 8s most of the time. If my ears get irritated or they start to swell up, then I switch them over to the 10. But as long as they've been healthy and haven't had any flare-ups, I keep them down at a 6 if I can. But considering the ones that wear the 16 gauge or the 1.2 are my cartilage, helix type piercings, they do tend to flare up on occasion, so most of the time I keep them at an 8. And since I only have 2 that are 16 gauge, I don't keep very many of them. I think I've only got 3 in here of the 8s. I have 2 of the 6s and 2 of the 10s, and then I have 2 that are in my ear right now. So yes, but those are the flat back studs that I use for those guys. And then I have a small set of rings that I wear. I have 2 black hinged ones, and then I have 2 silver curved barbell or circular horseshoe, however you want to word them. And those are also 1.2 millimeter or 16 gauge, and their diameter is 8 millimeters, which I also write on there as well, so that I know what size it is. Then I have a large little tower that I use for the end pieces, and I separate them all by color and or size. So this top one I have clear red and black. This bottom one I have see-through red orange, white, yellow, and blue. I have my smaller silver ball pieces here, and then the larger silver ball pieces in here. And again, I also write on there what their size is. So up at the top, I have the 1.2 millimeters or the 16 gauge, and then their diameter of the end pieces, which the larger ones are 4, the smaller ones are 3. So yes, and I won't go any smaller than 3s, mainly because they are very difficult to get on if they're smaller than that, and because these are 16 gauge or 1.2 millimeters, I don't want to go any bigger than 4s for their diameter, so I keep those pretty small. I have a couple of pieces here for my newer piercing, which is my industrial. I still am working on getting more jewelry for it, but for now, this is what I have. I have an internally threaded titanium piece and an internally threaded stainless steel, as well as externally threaded of both of those. Just because I do have sensitive ears, so I have to wear titanium so that they don't irritate my ears, and after a while I might be able to work back into wearing something a little bit more common. And then I have these titanium ionized colors. I have a green, blue, and then there's like a pinkish purple in there, as well as their end pieces on there too. So yes, but those are all I have for the industrial right now. Again, I still am working on getting those because those are fairly new. Then I have this little guy here. He was kind of supposed to be a conch jewelry piece, but I haven't worn him yet, but that's partially because he's like a rose gold color, and I'm not the biggest fan of rose gold. And then this one up here, he's kind of also a little miscellaneous collection of stuff. I have some more of my jewelry stuff, some D-rings and whatnot, some extra little clips down here, and then these are all kind of miscellaneous stuff, some more stretching tapers that I haven't used for a long time. Let's see, this is the starter pieces. These are the I think these are the 16, yeah, these are the 1.2s millimeter starter ones. These are the ones that I was pierced with. And then I have this little titanium heart. I'm not a big fan of these ones, so I got that from a convention, but I just haven't worn it yet. And then that little curved barbell that's in there is really, really small, so I have a hard time getting the end pieces on that, so I haven't used that. And these are some segmented rings. Again, I struggle with them. That's why I kind of don't wear any captive bead rings, because I struggle getting them back in, and I will really irritate my ears if I keep doing that. These are some really crappy like Hot Topic Spencer's pieces of jewelry. Like, I have them, but I don't wear them very much. I don't even remember the last time I wore them, because they do irritate my ears if they're left in for a while, and the paint does chip off over time. So yes, and then I've got this little guy here. This was a favorite pair of jewelry, but then they started like rusting, so I can't wear them very often. Again, because they irritate my ears, and I'm terrified that the rust is going to bother my ears more, so I don't wear those very much either. So yes, that is this side, and then that's all the leftover. I buy my jewelry almost kind of like tongue jewelry so that I can get the end pieces, because the end pieces are cuter on tongue rings, I think. So these are all the bars that came with all of them, for the larger, for the 14 gauge ones. These are all the bars. I'm just collecting tongue ring bars. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them, because I don't have a tongue ring, and I probably will never get one. But yes, I just collect these because I don't know what to do with them. So they're just sitting in the corner of my little case here because I don't have a home for them. So, yes. Alright, so then we're going to move on to the 14 gauges. So again, I have various little containers that I keep my end pieces, my flatbacks in. Some of them are starting to wear out and I need to rewrite them. So yes, these ones I have more of them because I have a lot more 14 or 1.6 millimeter piercings, so I have a lot more of them. So I go from 10, 8, 6, and 4 millimeter lengths. I have various 10s because these are the ones I tend to wear in my conch piercing. 8s and 6s are the ones I use most of the time. 6s if my ears are being good. 8s if they're occasionally flaring up. And then I do have 4s because I can wear these in a couple of my vertical helix ones, but I do have to kind of work my ears down to a 4, but otherwise it's a 6 most of the time. But 8s are by far the one I have the most of, and then 6s and 10s. So yes, but those are the ones I tend to wear in my larger pieces. So yes, and then I have a couple of end piece containers. So I don't know why I did this because a lot of these I probably will never use. I went and bought like a collection of like 100 miscellaneous patterned ones, and none of them are in pairs, which is kind of irritating to me, but I guess that's what you get. So these two little containers here contain quite a few various patterned ones, just like beach ball types or like little watermelon shapes. So yes, of various colors from light pastels to darker blues and purples. Unfortunately, I don't wear a lot of the pastel colors, so again, I don't know what I'm going to do with these, but they're there in case I ever need them. I do carry a small bag with me when I travel or in my purse of extra end pieces in case one falls off. That way I don't have to worry about losing it or taking it out or something like that. So yes, but these are kind of my miscellaneous, I don't know what I'm going to do with them kind of ones. Again, I have a little tower that I use. Again, I've written on the side what it is, so it's 1.6 millimeter. It is 14 gauge. The size of my 14 gauge end pieces I keep at about 6 millimeters, and all of these are acrylic, by the way. So yes, and this little tower I've sorted by color. So in the top I have oranges and blues. I have various blue colors. The next one I have clears and reds. Then I have black and white. And then I have yellow, pink, and green there. Most of these don't really have matching colors, but I do make them work. And then I have another little tower here as well. So this top one is kind of miscellaneous. I have some little rainbow ones. I have the little tower spikes that I use. These are smaller ones, like little ball ones or pointed spikes. Then I have my skull ones here, silver and white. I have a couple of miscellaneous silver and or colored ones here that I like to use for my conch or my vertical helix. And then I have this bottom one down here are most of my paired ones that I do wear occasionally, so that I can keep them separate from these guys here so I don't mix them up and lose them. So yes, but that is these guys. They're in the top part because they're the ones I grab the most to just change my jewelry. Then I have, let's see, what do I have? I have my little acrylic like cones. They're the little spikes. These ones I tend to use most of the time on my vertical helix. These ones are 4 millimeters, so I do mark how long and or tall these are. So these are smaller ones. These are 4 millimeters. Then I have some of my internally threaded or the Bioflex ones. These are the pin types, so they're push pins. I got these for my conch as well. And these are 10 millimeters. Again, I wear them in my conch. These are my colored conch ones, also 10 millimeters. These are acrylic. I do not attach end pieces to these, just because I know the acrylic end pieces or studs tend to, the threading can wear out, and I do not need one of these little things getting stuck in my ear. So I don't use end pieces on these. I just put the flat back to the front of my ear, and that way the color can show, and then I put like an O-ring on the back to keep it in place. I don't use end pieces on these. I never wear acrylic studs. These are all the O-rings that I use for this size. A couple of clear ones, a couple of black ones. So yes, some more tapering items. Ooh, I gotta put that, I'm missing my other one. This is another taper as well. And then I have a couple of different types of spikes that I use as well, again for my vertical helixes. These are some bullet types. They're just standard blacks. Then I have a couple of little bit smaller metal ionized colors. I have rainbow, I have green, blue, black, and purple as well. These are the taller ones. These are black and blue. These are a little bit taller, but they're still 4 millimeter diameter at the base, but they're taller. Same thing with these. These are green and like a silver tone. I need to get a couple more of these because I've only got 2 of each, and I have 3 vertical helixes. So yes. Again, another tall. These are like a baby blue kind of color. These ones are thinner. These are 3 millimeter in diameter, but they're tall. And then these are my tallest ones. These are also titanium. They are heavy. They are very tall. They are 16 millimeters long from base to tip. And they're 3 millimeters around diameter. So they're thin, but they're very tall. So I tend to wear these when I'm going out somewhere special, and I don't wear these in as a regular everyday thing just because they do get caught in my hair pretty easily. So yes. Then we have my stretched jewelry. I tend to just go with the standard colors on these guys. I don't usually wear a lot of fancier stuff with these. So again, I've written on the top, so I have 8 millimeter or 0 gauge larger ones, and then I've got my smaller ones, which are the 5 millimeter or 4 gauge silicone and or acrylics, mainly silicone and or various other types. And then I have my organic types, woods, stones, metals, that kind of stuff. I've also got those. So, ta-da, ta-da. I have a lot of the larger ones, not so much as the smaller ones. I don't do a lot with my smaller ones. So these are my smaller ones, pretty much all silicone, like flesh tunnel types. I have a couple of acrylics, but these were like my first ones after they got stretched when I was younger. I don't really wear these much anymore. So yes, but mostly just these standard colors, nothing fancy. I don't use patterns or anything for these guys just because they're too small, so you can't get good picture pattern ones for these guys. And I don't really feel like I want to stretch them or downsize them, so I keep it at that. My stone, bone, wood, glass ones are in here. I'm still working up getting a nice set of these. I don't wear these very often just because I feel like they're very nice, and I wouldn't wear these to work. I wouldn't wear these all the time, all day. I'd probably put them in for special occasions, but otherwise, not for everyday use, definitely for special occasions. So yes, but I have some glass here, these blue and green ones. These are glass, very nice, not too heavy. Then I have a couple of wood ones with maybe some little designs. This one has like a little tree on it. And then amethyst, and this guy is horn. So yeah, and then I think that's it. Oh, here's another, I think this is another glass one. There it is. Black and blue. And then I've got a couple of my metal ones over here. So I have some titanium or just some steel over here. Again, various types. This guy is kind of cute. It's like a little hanging skeleton, but it's an eyelet. It's a tunnel. So yes. So these guys, the larger ones like this gold one here, they're pretty weighty. They're kind of heavy. So again, I don't wear those every day. I'd put them in and take them out after like a day of use. I wouldn't leave them in. I have some larger acrylics, just solid colors. I have blue, I have red, I have yellow, and then I've got a black one somewhere over here. So yes, and then some more silicone types, and these are the larger ones. These are all for my 0 gauge or my 8mm. So yes, I have this cute little like spiky one. I love this guy, but because I have extra jewelry in my lobe, it kind of rubs and it like kind of presses on the spike just off to the side a little, so I don't wear this as often. A couple of silicones in here, some pattern like tie-dye type colors, some green and pink, some yellow and green and whatnot. I have my solid silicones over here, so I have various solid colors as well as various tunnel ones. So yes, these guys are a tad thicker than these guys up here. These are all my like flesh tunnels, very thin, very flexible. These ones I wear pretty much all the time. I change out color. I have like pretty much every color. I have white, clear, blue, purple, red, orange, pink. So yeah. And then again, I have pretty much most colors of the solid and the thicker eyelets as well. Some of these glow in the dark, like this guy here, he glows in the dark a little, and whatnot. And then I just threw him over here. Some more thinner like flesh tunnel colors, some pinks, some reds and whites, some little tie-dye colors, and then my miscellaneous ones are also in there. Some like acrylic eyelets, some more little like plastic type bone ones. So yes, but again, pretty much these guys I don't wear very often. I only wear these as like a one-day thing. Same thing with these guys here. These I don't wear all the time, but these two right here, this larger one and then this smaller set, those are pretty much the ones I'm going to go to most of the time unless it's something special. And these guys are kind of like a plan B. If I don't know what I want to wear over here, like I don't want the flesh tunnel, but I want something a little thicker, I'll probably put one of these guys in. So yes. But other than that, that is pretty much all of my jewelry pieces. So yes. I'm just going to tuck that right in there. So yes. But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much all of my collection. I do have quite a lot of stuff. I do change my jewelry a lot. I like to do just monotone and or coordinating colors. So maybe I'll do seasonal. Sometimes I'll put like red and green together for winter time, for Christmas season. And then maybe I'll do like blue and white. Halloween colors. I'll do fall colors. Summery, springtime. I'll change them pretty often. If I can, I'll try and change all of them and do like a full change at least once a month. If I'm feeling extra creative, I'll probably change it a little bit more frequently than that. But most of the time it's just stud and end pieces. That's why these are on the top. These are the ones I do most of the time. I am trying to get myself into wearing rings a little bit more, but I can't justify wearing them all the time because they rub and irritate my ears. So I don't wear them as much, even though I'd like to. So yes, but yeah, that's all of my piercing jewelry that I can think of. So yes, thank you for watching. If you guys have any questions or anything you want me to try and go into a little bit more depth about, definitely let me know. Leave a comment in the section below, and I'll try and get to your comment if it's something simple, but if it's something maybe I can talk a little bit more about, I will definitely try and make a video about it. Sorry it's been so long since I made a video. I just haven't been being creative and or getting time off. So yes. But other than that, you know, if you were trying to get ideas for your collection, well, you've got a few now, I'm sure. We'll see you guys another time.